Hey guys, Damien here. All right, so I want to talk about yesterday's video because there seems to be some sort of a disconnect, and I'm trying to figure out what that disconnect is, but also be patient as well because I try to live by the golden rule: treat others how you want to be treated. And I realized some of my frustration. Okay, my frustration is that I know what I know, and what I know, it took me being driven to try to find it. It took me being very active and very, very thorough, and hours upon hours and hours upon research. And so I know all this stuff in advance that I know that you guys don't know, but I forget that. And so I have been doing a poor job of my expectations, okay? Because I keep on saying I know where this goes, I know where this goes, and so I'm trying to tell you guys things that I did not learn myself way advances, and the videos that I've been making you guys, these little facts that I give you here and there. Some of the stuff that I've been trying to say in these videos are things that I did not learn until later, and I was not even able to put them together until much, much later. So I apologize to some of you if some of my online comments or some of my videos have been seeming like I've been coming off as an asshole. It's because I want to share with you guys. I care about you guys. I care about America. I care about us. And I want you guys to understand exactly everything that I did in the same way that I did. So that being said, can we talk about the two topics that I have talked about that you've never heard before you heard me talking about it? Number one, Mordechai Vanunu. What is the equivalent story? Why, if that's not a big deal, tell me, oh, that's nothing different than, other than what? What's the analogy of another story or something else in your lifetime? You're like, oh, I heard that, but I can't say I'm surprised by that. What's the equivalent of a Mordechai Vanunu story? Over 190 countries in the world, only 8 of them had nuclear weapons. He discovered the 9th one single-handedly. What would be the equivalent of that? Because to me, that's a huge deal. And the fact that none of our media covered it is an even bigger deal. What would be the equivalent of those two stories, of one story happening and then it never being talked about in the media? What would be the equivalent of that? Because I don't know. I'm 46 years old, and it's insane to me that I'm just now learning about that. And I cannot equate it to anything. The second thing, which was yesterday's video about the JDL. What would be the equivalent? Here is what I'm going to ask of you guys today to make sure that I'm not the crazy one. Today, or the next time you can, out and about, not online, out and about, social experiment. I want you to just ask, and I know that you know what their answers are going to be, but I need this to be emphasized. But ask 10 people, okay, one at a time. So be like, you ever heard of the KKK? And be like, yeah, why? They're more than likely going to say that, okay? I know that, but I think you know that. But then, after you've asked 10 people and you get 10 yeses, I want you to ask either those 10 same people or 10 different people. Doesn't matter. Or ask 20, 10 of the same and then 10 different. Ask them, have you ever heard of the JDL? Okay? Now, let's talk about that. One of them, everyone's heard of. And their crimes are nowhere near the scale as the JDL, the one that no one's heard of. If that, to me, that's a huge freaking deal, huge flags, and I'm asking you guys who don't seem to either understand that or not think it's a big deal, tell me, what's the equivalent? What's the equivalent of an extremely racist group that's been going on for 70 years that no one's ever heard of, that is still active today as a terrorist organization? What's the equivalent? Now, hold on a second. Sorry about the blocking of the camera. Okay. Now, I never finished this yesterday because I was hoping that you guys would. But I don't think you guys are understanding the gravity of what I'm trying to tell you. Okay? When we think of terrorist organizations, we usually think of Al-Qaeda, things like that, things like the overseas threats. Domestic terrorist organizations are not usually a common thing. Okay? So the fact that this exists and we never heard about it, but But we know about all these other groups who would be who we think in our heads would be worse and smaller than the JDL. The JDL has expanded to 10 countries. Expanded. Media is not covering it. The same media that did not cover Mordechai Vanunu. So, a terrorist organization more extreme than the KKK is still active. Does the KKK have a website? Do any of those other organizations have a website? I don't know. But JDL-USA.com does exist. And this is what happens when you go there. All right, guys. Let's check this out. Okay, so the website exists. So, yeah, when you support Donald Trump, you support the same as a proven terrorist group. You support the same ideologies that the JDL creator, Meir Kahana, believes. So, all I ask from you guys, I clearly think this is a huge deal. And I guess it's taken you guys a little bit longer to see it the same way I do, or maybe you see it something different and it's not of a big deal as what you think it is. And if it's the latter, all I ask from you, what is the analogy? What has happened in your lifetime that was underneath your nose the entire time, something as big as a domestic terrorist organization existing, and you never heard about it? What would be the equivalent? Please let me know, because I feel like I'm going insane over here. Okay? Because the JDL exists. And again, I know where the story goes, but like when I discovered this a few months ago, like the JDL exists. How did I not know about that? Is that not strange to you?